Welcome back to the Offbeat Podcast, people. The first podcast, which is an away day. Away day podcast. We're in, is this technically Doncaster?
Retford, Nottinghamshire.
Retford, yeah. Because it's like, you're a it's a DM postcode.
DM postcode, yeah, it's a mess.
So I was like, when I was driving, just a bit of story driving here, mate, it was the foggiest drive I've ever done in my life.
Frightening. We said zombies.
It was like Shaun of the Dead. it was a zombie apocalypse. Driving down the A1 and then I was driving down the motorway and it said turn left. And I was like,
break.
Why am I turning left on a motorway? Like, that just shouldn't happen.
Collision.
Collision avoid. But yeah, it's a big guest this week. Courtesy of Ollie from GKN. Big shout out to GKN. We've got ARF Football in. Alex, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Welcome. Thank you for coming. Welcome to the boot room.
Mate, it's sick in here. As soon as I walked in, because when you gave me the address, it was like just a general sort of centre.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's just going to be like a little cupboard, please. Minute in here.
Yeah, got the racking up. That's your kind of feature wall. And we've got loads of shirts framed up, packaging stations, desks. Yeah, buzzing.
It's mint, and there's so many, like, if you're just behind Alex there, all the signed shirts and stuff for players he's dealt with. It's mental.
Class.
So I suppose a little bit of an introduction into kind of you.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of introduction to kind of like, what is ARF Football?
Yeah, so we sell classic, rare, elite level, dead stock, all sorts of football boots, really, via our website all over the world. We've sold to every corner of the world now. It baffles me every day. Seeing where people buy it from. Deal with professionals all the way down to grassroots Sunday league. Just all on the website. Got accessories, mainly through Instagram, getting DMs from blue ticks all over the place, which is good fun. But me and the wife run it. Don't argue at all, obviously.
I was going to say, we always say it's a bit of a
business and pleasure.
Well. Yeah.
So, we're still married. She packages up the orders.
Like I say, we're still married, just everyone aware, we're still married.
Still going, not there yet. But she does the orders, bit of TikToking, bit of content and stuff, and taking photos of stock, and I do all the boring back of house.
But I mean, there's a lot to do, because if you look, just look at the racking behind us, all of the stock in here is just mental. You got a New Balance, Nike, Adidas, there's just so much. Right, is it Adidas or is it Adidas?
Adidas.
It's Adidas.
Yorkshire Adidas. Adidas, it's Manx, they get this weird...
Is it?
Yeah, well, we had a conversation with someone the other day they call trousers pants. Someone said, what pants have you got on?
Yeah.
I said, do you mind? They're talking about trousers. What pants are they?
No, it's
trousers.
It's not trousers though, is it? We're just going straight like pen two sides of a pen here.
Yeah, so Adidas, Nike or Nike.
It was Nike.
Nike.
Yeah, I think that's kind of universally accepted, isn't it? Whereas...
Puma.
Does anyone say Puma?
I think it's the Americans. They get the Nike, Adidas, Puma.
I mean, they say everything as they say it, don't they? Like a pavement being a sidewalk.
Like,
trash can. Yeah. A bin. Do you know what I mean? They say everything as if they say it.
Making a divide here for your viewers.
Oh, I don't know. People are used to that right now. But like, so how did this sort of like start then for you? Because obviously being a boot reseller is a lot of like kids kind of dream of, don't they?
Yeah, it's the amount of, there's so many messages I get now off lads and lasses as well, but people saying, I want to get into boot selling. I'm going to set it up with my friend. I've got a budget of £200, and where do you get your stuff from? And you've kind of got to like politely say like, well, I'm obviously not going to tell you that, but
at the end of the day, you are a competitor.
eBay's yeah, I always say eBay's a good place to start, which it literally is. But yeah, we started 2019. Literally just, I put up a couple of my old pairs out of the garage. I was having a clear out up on eBay, and they on an auction, the price just kept going and going and going. And I thought, Jesus, there's quite a market for this. So I think I sold like 2 pairs for like 150 quid. Bought 5 pairs with that 150 quid. Sold those 5, bought 10 pairs for
classic, innit?
Just gradually doubling your money. Old knackered boots, cleaning them up, but like classics, so like Total 90s, Predators,
like F50s,
yeah, all the stuff that people like. It was mainly, to be fair, it started out just the stuff that I liked when I was a kid growing up, like your old Predators, like your Manias and Accelerators and CTRs, like all the stuff that everyone wants. But just selling stuff that I wanted. Started on eBay, got up to about 30 pairs. I had the Instagram set up. I had like 100 followers.
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace, like just selling on there, and like people around Donny who'd come in Sheffield would come and pick them up. But then when I got to like 30, 40 pairs, I was like, I can't keep track of like what sizes. What have you got in size 8? What have you got in size 9? What have you got in size 10? So after a year from starting, I set up a website, and it was the best thing I ever did. Just all your stock on there, filter it with sizes, prices. Your inventory's tracked, so when it sells, it disappears.
Yeah.
It took so much of like that time of messaging people. Like now, I just say,
website.
Click
Straight away. It's just easy, isn't it?
Everything's on there. Happy days. That saves time that way, and you can reinvest that time into something else. But that really helped the website. Instagram kind of took off a bit, got up to like 10,000, then 20,000 followers after like year 2, and then. Just kept going and going and going. COVID came along, so everyone went on furlough, and then that kind of obviously more time.
So you could kind of spend more time
massively.
doing this, then, couldn't you? Due to COVID, really?
That's what boomed it. It was the website was set up in April 2020, so that was just as COVID started. To be fair, because I thought when COVID happened in March, I thought, right, I'm going to have a go at this because I'm not doing anything anyway. I had
you might as well just throw your
eggs
in one basket, don't you?
So I was like, let's try and get out of 9 till 5 full-time work and try and make this an actual business. And like I said, set up the website, and it just kind of rocketed, put a load of time into content, quality stock, selling to the right people, players and pros and stuff. That started to pick up, and 3 years on nearly from that time, it's...
Here we are now.
Office and
where you just got
hundreds of boots and like
you've got like the maddest sort of client base as well. Like I think the international ones are the ones that really kind of baffle me. So is that just from like natural social media growth, or do you just don't know?
No, pure organic growth. I've never paid for marketing, or Facebook ads or Google ads and stuff like that. It's all social media, just creating decent content that people want to see, and then they share that with the pals. They get it in their football group chat, like, bloody hell, lads, you seen this that this lad's got, like, they're mint, like, they'll message, can you get him in this, can you get him in that, can you get him in this size? So it's literally all organic, and just keeps going and going and going.
It's easy when it's like that as well, because if word of mouth's huge nowadays as well, especially when you say if you deal with a couple of like your non-league players who kind of go to multiple clubs in a year. Straight away, you in 30 people. It's just straight away.
Well, when I started, I thought my mindset from the start, and still is, to be fair, is that don't focus on pros because don't focus on them, but don't like prioritise selling to a pro, because there's millions of Sunday League footballers and a few thousand pros. So like, as a bit with your business head on, like, sell to the mass.
Of course, yeah.
The pros would be good, and it's a good bit of content, and it's nice to say, I've sold to A, B, and C. But focused on the Sunday League, and then pros kind of picked up. The only time that I kind of focused on pros is that I started messaging like the under 18s and like of like local football league teams. So
so like your chefs and
Sheffield United, Wednesday, Barnsley, Rotherham, Leeds, Hull, that kind of stuff.
It's kind of the Yorkshire Humberside sort of.
So it's like, I've set up this business. If you need anything, let me know. I'll travel. I can drop them off. That kind of stuff. And then, because I thought, don't go for the first teams because they're never going to.
They're never going to read it. You might as well. Because at the end of the day, like, especially when you start off with your under 18s, 21s, they're going to slowly move up, aren't they?
Literally what happened. So Regan Slater's now at Hull City. First started last night. Like, top guy. He was in Sheffield United's academy at the time. Got into touch with him. He bought a pair of F50s. Loved him. Like, top lad, met him. All that kind of stuff. Kept in touch, and then kept buying from me. And then he went on loan to like Scunthorpe.
Yeah.
So then he's in that changing room. He's kind of spread the word there, and then he's back at Sheffield United in the first team. So he's kind of spreading
the word a little bit there.
And then he's gone on loan to Hull. And he's since signed there, and then that's a good example of dipping into different changing rooms suddenly.
Yeah. Different markets as well, I suppose.
So, and then it's, the international ones baffle me, like, but that's just, I think, Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that, because there's no way someone in Indonesia, someone bought a pair this week.
Have you had, like, what's like the maddest country you've sold to?
I don't know, to be fair, a lot. I sell a lot to America.
You wouldn't think that, though, would you? Because I mean, like, the British viewpoint of America is they don't really associate with football because their football is different. But
soccer, it's booming over there, to be fair. But yeah, like Philippines, a couple of the Africa countries, South Africa, like even Oceania, like Australia and New Zealand and stuff like that. But I think it was Chile was one that I sold to as well. Like South,
Chile?
yeah, literally like so many countries baffled me. There's a way I can look on the website of not just where I've sold to, but like where the like accounts, the people that you have to have an account to buy on the website.
Course, yeah.
Like where the subscribers, whatever you want to call them, email list are based. It's like hundreds, like just not hundreds, but yeah, tons and tons of
countries all over the world.
Unbelievable, yeah. So yeah, they're the ones that baffle me, and then the pros have really kind of taken off this last couple of years. It helps being in like a decent facility like this, and being able to travel, and again, recommendations. Once you've sorted a few out, they all
recommendations are key, aren't they? I've
It's
found that out
massive,
with
yeah.
doing this as well. Recommendations are key for just guests, because at the end of the day, like people, you're surprised with how many people. It's usually like everyone knows someone who is relatively sort of not big, but like everyone's got someone who went to their school who became
What's the
like
rule?
a singer.
It's everyone's 7 connections away from anyone.
Yes, it's seven connections, and we were trying that out a little bit, and my girlfriend, we were talking a couple of weeks ago about like connections and stuff, and I was like, do you know, like you're like one connection away from like certain people now, like people she watches all the time, and like some people, like we're watching one of her YouTubers that she watches. So it's like a big fitness and kind of eating challenges she does. And I was like, you're literally one connection from her now, because I did an episode with Alberto, we did an episode with her. So you're one connection from her. And he was
It's
like,
class.
It's just it's odd, innit?
We said, didn't we, the other day, Shane Todd, the Northern Irish comedian. I said, he's like, oh, you into podcasts? I was like, oh, Shane Todd's class, like, love him. He's again dealt with him through the boots and stuff. And like that.
Now one away from Shannon. It's such a small world, isn't it, really, when you're thinking about it?
It literally is, like, even especially with players, like, I've dealt like, with a few, and like, you're like, gee, he plays with him, or like, played with. It's just like the World Cup was quite a funny one watching that, because like a couple of guys I've dealt with in the World Cup, and then I'm like, he's sharing a picture with Messi. Like,
so what kind of World Cup players have you dealt with then?
You put me on the spot now. A couple in the Australia team. England, none in the English team. A couple in the Wales, Johnny Williams. Bald fella in...
bald head.
Yeah.
Centre mid, isn't he?
Big beard, yeah. So he's in the Wales squad. I don't think he came on much, though. But, yeah, it's just the internationals. It's just,
that's mental. Oh, so you're one connection away from Gareth Bale straight away.
That's literally one. That was the example it was.
So that's like, 2 connections away from Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it, when you're thinking about it like that?
But... yeah, Ronaldo's topical, isn't he, at the moment?
He is very topical. What do you think about Cristiano Ronaldo and his huge switch?
I don't blame him, to be fair. You know, it's not a short career, but I know he don't need the cash, but he's creating a legacy, and I think that's
what he wants to do. It's like when back in the day when like Pele signed for was it Cosmo?
New York Cosmos. Yeah, I was listening to that yesterday.
It's stuff like that, innit, where you want to be remembered in a certain place, like.
But you know what's funny though? Before the World Cup with Messi and Ronaldo debate, I was like, Ronaldo.
Really? Why?
Because he travelled. He'd done it in La Liga, Serie A, England, and then the argument with Messi is that A, he's never won anything with his country, but B, he's only ever been in PSG and Barca, who were always like the two big uns. Yeah,
I always found that a bit of a weak argument, though. I always went off what I saw in my own eyes, because I've been lucky since I support Man City. I've had a season ticket since I was 5. So I've been able to see the best of the best play now, really.
Yeah.
And with my eyes, Messi's the best player I've seen live. And I think the game, one of the games at Etihad, I think he's missed like 2 penalties at Etihad, and they're the 2 times I've seen him.
No way.
And he's still the best player on the pitch with missing them penalties. And I'm like,
as a player, I've prefer him, but I think as like what you've done,
it's like a career sort of legacy.
In a career, yeah. But now, obviously, Messi's the best ever because he's won the World Cup now, which is fair.
It's weird how he's just like sealed the deal and he's just won the argument straight away.
Literally, and then now Mbappe's coming up. Haaland, I went to Brighton away at City this season. Got invited with a guy that I know, and he. It was like one of these moments. I remember as a kid, you were watching, you'd be like, it's like I'd go to Sheffield United as a kid. I'd be like, wow, that's Michael Brown and Peter Unlove. I'm like, wow. And like,
obviously, City as well.
When you grow, when you grow up, you're like, oh, it's just football now. But then, like, when I went to that City game, there was like Haaland, Grealish, Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, Johnston, like all of them, like full strength. And I think they won 3-0, but like Haaland was an absolute joke. Like just the speed of them, and
It's like a world star team now, isn't it?
Unbelievable. Yeah, they were mad. They were really, really good. But yeah, I think Haaland's gonna, if he stays fit, smash everything at the minute.
Yeah, it's weird with Haaland because technically he's not that
freak. He's just like
he's not. When you see him with the ball at his feet, because sometimes he drops deep. Do you know, like when you watch Harry Kane and he drops deep and he'll ping a 60-yarder, and you're like, oh, he's got unbelievable like right foot. Haaland doesn't have that. Haaland
power and pace.
Yeah, and he
smashes it,
and he just knows where the net is at all times.
Yeah.
Like it's mental. Like some of the goals he scored, like the derby, really annoyed me because I didn't get a ticket, unfortunately. So I was watching it and I was seeing Haaland make these runs on the TV, and I'm like, mate, just play it over the top. Play it over the top. He's literally like a 6'8" freak.
Yeah.
He's gonna play against Luke Shaw, mate.
The Brighton game was the one where it got pumped out. I think Edison fucking launched it, and
is this one where he barged out Webster?
And everyone was like, bloody hell, he just mugged him off there and ran around the keeper and tapped it in like absolute machine. But because he got a flack, didn't he? Before he came over, he said, "Oh, he's not done it in the Prem yet.
Yeah.
Is he gonna do?" And then he's obviously just
blowing everybody away,
like, it's class. So, but yeah, City are flying, aren't they? But
City are flying at the moment, especially when you're looking at like my favourite player for City is John Stones.
Yeah.
Who is obviously a Yorkshire lad.
Yeah.
I love John Stones. I honestly think John Stones is the best centre back in the Premier League.
One connection away from John Stones.
See, that's such a mental. Because he came through Barnsley's academy, so he sold someone from Barnsley.
One of his best mates he came through Barnsley with him, and I've had a few pairs of John Stones' boots in because I like the lad I know. It's like, I'll give you a pair of his if you can just give us them. Something like, of course, like, straight swap.
But with John Stones, it's a bit of a weird enigma with him at the moment because he started off a bit shaky at City, but I feel like he's the most lovable person.
He was young though, wasn't he?
He was young. He came from Everton.
He was dead young when he came, but he's like, if you want anyone in a changing room, like he's that kind of character that you need the joke and doing his dancing and singing and all that kind of stuff. Like,
you've got people like Kyle Walker as well. Both
South Yorkshire lads. Yeah, so they're you need that kind of Brit, I think.
I think you do. A bit of that personality, a bit of that grit.
Some like joker Englishman with the old school a bit, and having a laugh and a giggle and stuff. But that's what they said it changed with Wenger when he came in, the foreign, like the French mentality and efficiency and what you eat and go to bed at time, and all the drinking went out of it and smoking in the changing rooms. But
Ray Parlour always has some good stories. I like listening to his stories on like TalkSport, and when he goes in podcasts or he does like interviews, and he's just telling stories of like pre-Wenger and
Premier
after.
League, basically, wasn't it?
And some of the stories they've got, and you're like, that night, I mean, you look at him, you're like, that's why they ended up like they did.
Yeah. Well, they brought in like Vieira and obviously Henry and all the French boys, Petit and all them boys at Arsenal. They're unbelievable. That early 2000s, late 90s. They were just unbelievable. But France at the time, weren't they? 98.
Yeah.
Those boots, the accelerators. 98 World Cup France team was a joke.
What would you say is like your favourite team of all time then? Would you say it'd be like a Sheffield United team, or would you say?
Yeah, there's nostalgia and stuff like that, but like 2003 kind of Man U era. You remember Beckham just before he left?
Okay,
like
with the Class United too,
Varane and the bald keeper.
Oh, Barthez.
Barthez. I was before Ferdinand came, but yeah.
It was like Starm, wasn't it? Was it Starm before Ferdinand?
Starm, yeah. Van Nistelrooy, like, just that, when that penalty against Arsenal in that yellow kit.
Martin Keown was like giving him
that kind of era for Man U for me was class, like. But favourite team of all time, I don't know. It would have to be a Sheffield United on it. Current Sheffield United team. There you go.
Current Sheffield United team. Speaking of Sheffield United, they are
flying.
They're flying at the moment, aren't they?
14 points clear of third. It's going to come back to bite us. That. Don't go up now.
Everywhere you look now. But they are flying at the moment. But I liked Sheffield United in the Prem. Because at the end of the day, I feel like the North and South divide. You root for your Northern teams, don't you?
Very controversial. But I was the same with when Leeds went up.
Yeah.
Obviously, no one can say they like Leeds, but I was buzzing to see him go up. I was like, that's going to be again, it's another Northern team, but a Yorkshire team, and then
it boosts
the game.
Everything kind of subsequently boosts, doesn't it?
Season with Bielsa, like obviously that Bielsa ball and all that was unbelievable. Like such good football, And instead of like a team like I don't know, like Brentford going up, I like Brentford, they're sweet and they're nice,
Yeah.
and everyone likes Brentford. No one's got a bad word to say, but
Boring.
you're not tuning into like Brentford against
Of course, yeah. If Brentford are playing on a Tuesday night,
Sky Sports.
yeah, and there's like the darts is on, I'm not going to turn the darts off to watch Brentford, am I? let's be honest here. That's never going to happen. They don't offend anyone.
No.
But they don't like appease anyone really.
Brentford Southampton is one game I will not watch this season.
And then then they got Bournemouth week after. We won't watch that either.
Yeah, I can't say that, but yeah, no, yeah.
Fair, you've got quite a few connections from Bournemouth, haven't you?
Yeah, I've sold to a few lads there. Lloyd Kelly, captain, I think, at the minute. James Hill, he's one of the young lads coming through. I think he's just gone on loan actually to Hearts. Jamal Lowe, who's just
Jamal Lowe. I think
sold
Jamal Lowe was the one I saw on your Instagram.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah. So Bournemouth is a good one actually. Got some boots here for Ward Prowse actually.
live unboxing.
They're his little favourites.
So are they going to Ward-Prowse?
When he replies to my DMs, he can, yeah. But he's obsessed with them. It's known, like, if you know one in a boot world, these Nike Post 7s came out in 2016.
Mate, they look fantastic.
But he likes to get all blacked out. So like
okay, yeah.
So they just look lethal and like Premier League free kick, absolute wonder kid. So totally can stay out. But yeah, he's that'd be one at Southampton. But yeah, Northern teams I like to see.
You do like
little
the
Middlesbrough teams. Or Sunderland.
Yeah,
or
you like. I feel like there's a bit of underdog stories as well where you really do like it. Like for Sheffield United year when you first year you came up and you were just flying.
7th, I think. Finished something like that, 8th or 7th. But even the Northwest, like you just expect those four to be in it now. And when you see someone else come up, it's quite nice to keep an eye on him. Little second team.
It's always good, especially when you're having a look around because I've got. I wouldn't say I've got a second team, but if I had a second team, it'd probably be Oldham.
Yeah.
Because a good mate of mine, he's a big Oldham fan, going through it in a moment because, they're shite.
Struggling now. On the way back up, aren't they? The National League, aren't they?
Yeah, I think I saw a mad stat where I think they've got the third biggest wage budget, like wage bill at the moment.
The National League?
Yeah, and they're currently like 15th.
Oh, no.
Like 18th.
Unbelievable.
Because they're just splashing money anywhere. But I mean, they're only up as well. But yeah, like you kind of gravitate a little bit and you check on certain teams,
keep
don't
an eye
you?
out for them, don't you?
Yeah.
I went to an Oldham game last year, actually. I had to drop some boots off for a lad, and it's a good ground.
Yeah, it's a nice ground.
We've got like a set of fans in that like cop, whatever side it is, and like they were bouncing the whole time. Like
they're called the Atleticos, I think.
Oh, are they?
I think they're called like the Atleticos.
Yeah.
But
so we were there. I took a mate of mine, and it was what's the initial?
OAFC.
Is it OA or is it
it's
OFCA?
No, it's OAFC. So
we were like, what's that? What's the A for?
Athletic.
It's Oldham. Yeah. No, it was OAFCA.
Yeah, Oldham Athletic Football Club Atleticos, I think it'd be. I think that's what it would be.
We couldn't figure it out.
He was still doing that. What is
Still
that?
not figured it out.
That shows how good the footy was. So if you're watching the man and being like, what is happening here?
That empty stand where no one was watching it. But yeah, they won in the end. It was quite good. But yeah, big clubs. There's loads in the National League. Chesterfield, Notts County,
Wrexham.
Yeah. Sheffield United got Wrexham in the FA Cup away.
Are you excited for that? It's going to be a good game to watch.
Yeah, it could be a little trip up there, that little trip hazard, but I don't think we'll be that arsed if we get beat anyway.
Yeah, it's one of them. When you focus on the league and you're second in the moment, you kind of want to prioritise that a little bit.
Yeah, but massive teams down there. And then my second team is Dorking Wanderers.
Is it?
Bunch of amateurs YouTube series.
I don't watch your YouTube. I watch your TikToks.
Yeah,
I should watch your YouTube a lot more because I love the TikToks.
It's good value watching it. It comes out every Sunday night. What a plug this is, by the way. It comes out every Sunday night. Bunch of amateurs on YouTube at 7 p.m. I think it premieres. But I watch it Monday morning, get my work done, and then lunch I'm like, right, sit down, a little meal deal. Bunch of amateurs, like 40 minutes.
I love stuff like. Do you watch Hashtag United as well?
No, I've never got into that because there's a few now, isn't there? There's like the Dons and all that lot, but never really got into Hashtag United.
I would strongly recommend it. They get a lot of shit because obviously it was Hashtag United, but I've kind of because Spencer, when I was growing up, like my high school
YouTube fanboy.
Yeah, like if you were into FIFA, you'd watch KSI. You'd watch Spencer. You'd watch people Copper 90.
One connection from KSI.
How were you one connection from KSI?
I went to school with Vic Star 123. He was in my year at school, my form at school.
What? wait. Do you know a story I'll tell you before about like just randomly coming out with stuff? How we just randomly come out with that?
I didn't know you'd mentioned the Sidemen.
Alright. So I know he's from like around Sheffield.
Yeah,
Were you in Dick Starr's form?
Yeah. Silverdale School. Shout out. S11.
So what was so?
I just went to school. He used to live like on the entrance of school. His house was.
Was he quite a quiet lad in school?
He don't live there
in
anymore.
school?
But I'm just getting that. Very, very smart. Like he's got 3 older brothers who are all like doctors, like Sikh family. So like, lovely family. Used to go around all the time. Like he used to have BB gun fights in his back. Like we used to go around to his house load. Did my Duke of Edinburgh with him. So like he's lovely. Like really quiet. Very clutched on. Just did his schoolwork and kind of. But always, like, nights after school, like, not come out, he'd just play Call of Duty. He used to be called the Tomahawk King.
Yeah, I remember, because I used to watch his Tomahawk glitches, because everyone did, didn't they? Because as soon as you saw it, you were like, I want to do that, and everyone was just doing the cross-map Tomahawk. I remember the cross-map one. I used to always watch.
He did a video where my Xbox was broken, my Xbox 360, throwing it back, and he said, I'll give you 50 quid for it. I was like, all right, whatever. And he did a video on YouTube where he just threw, like, axes at it and just smashed it up. He was like, I am a Tomahawk King, and just started smashing my Xbox up. But yeah, so we went to school, and he's now like I messaged him actually the other week, like, hey mate, if you ever need any football boots, I'd love to get a shout. Yeah, like,
I suppose so, but they're kind of doing their they're doing football videos quite
all over the place. Yeah, well, I was down in London one night, and he lives down there now, I think, and messaged him like, I'm out with a couple of boys from school, if you want to come out for a drink. He's like, I'm in the Alps doing a video. I was like, all right.
Fair enough.
So, no, he's flying there. Like,
it seems like he's such a nice guy, though, because I've never... Do you know how you sometimes see these, like, big sort of, like, YouTubers and big... Well, not celebrities, but do you know what I mean? People with influence, and you're watching... And a lot of different people have always got a bad word to say about certain people. Yeah, I've never heard anyone say a bad word about Vic Star.
I think all of those boys are all like that. They're all
nice, aren't they?
Proper sound, proper normal upbringings. Yeah, literally just gone from streaming and playing games to like being all. And the boom with YouTube came around that time as well, and they all come across really well. Never have any bad press about him. Anyway,
I think there's a reason for that, because they are just nice
normal,
people,
nice lads, and he's flying. So fair play to him.
I can't believe you went to a Big Star on Team 3.
Yeah. That was my connection to KSI. So, yeah, that's going to be a theme today. The one connection away.
But you never think about it. I like the 7. Because it's from Was it Bill Gates? They always say 7 connections from Bill Gates, something like that.
Oh, you put 7 connections from
anyone in the world. It's mental. Should we have a little break? Because I feel that's blow my head off. We'll be back for part 2. Thank you. Part 2, and we are back to a nice little break where it was a bit hot in here, but it's freezing outside.
Freezing, isn't it?
It's literally like 0 degrees.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Freezing. I was like, as soon as I stepped out, I was like, oh, it's lovely out here. Yeah. Took 10 minutes, straight back
in the sauna.
So when we're talking about kind of footy boots, we never kind of went on to kind of talking about like your favourite boots. So what would be like your favourite footy boots over the years?
Predators are always one that stick out for a lot of people. With the Predator, they often do the OG colourway, they call it. So like the black, white and red, which are obviously a favourite for a lot of people with the nostalgia. But a lot of the ones I've got out on the table, actually, to be fair.
Are they? Would you say these are your kind of go-tos?
Top picks. Yeah. So CTRs, Total 90 laser ones, like pure Wayne Rooney, Fernando Torres vibes, Figo, proper throwing it back. But yeah, it's kind of, to be fair, it's often the case with nostalgia and boots. It's when you're growing up and what you start to wear.
The case, yeah.
So like mine were like early 2000s, mid 2000 boots. But now you're getting like 18-year-old lads asking me like, can you get F50s from like 5 years ago when they obviously started? And it all changes with the times. It's incredible. And a mate of mine actually last night said, do you not like, surely your business hasn't got like longevity because old boots are going to run out? And I was like,
well, no, because then new boots become old boots. It's
in 3 years,
cycle, isn't it?
People want the stuff that came out 3 years ago. So, I don't see it ever really stopping. But it's the boot industry is definitely changing towards the sneaker industry. So like your Yeezys and Jordans, like drop days for like limited edition stuff, and even just general release stuff. People are like jumping on it, and people that don't even collect or necessarily play football jump on these drops, and you see them on eBay like 150 quid more than what they were, and you're like, can't do us a favour, like do me out of business here. Like that's what I'm here for, not for you. But it's definitely getting sneaker kind of heads, but it's worldwide now. Like when I started, there was a couple of dozen sellers, like a couple of big ones, and then now there's resellers in America, Australia, all over Europe. There's so many different businesses doing it, which is class. Like, because in my opinion, if the demand's growing,
of course,
customers are hearing about it more, and like it's if I've got good stock, then you're still going to be decent. You'll be fine. But there's plenty of footballers in the world to buy boots off you. Like you don't have to.
So many,
you
especially so many millions of Sunday League players in England alone.
100%.
Worldwide.
A lot of sellers get a bit bitter and a bit competitive and a bit snidey and stuff, but the more the merrier. To be honest, it's good for the industry, I think.
Of course, especially because if you're looking at the stuff like the boot industry, like it's always going to be ever booming unless football goes out of business. Yeah, which is never going to happen. No. So you've got that kind of security a little bit, don't you?
Well, it's interesting because brands like Nike and Adidas, for example, but also like the companies that you traditionally buy your boots from, like Sports Direct, say, but like Pro Direct, there's a few big businesses that traditionally you buy your boots from online. They're watching what resellers do.
Yeah, they are.
Like Nike, I won't go into how I know, but there was basically an email trail that came out saying to reps for like Nike, an email from head office went out saying, please can you ensure that your players, for example, Jack Grealish was one of them, are not buying from this A, B, and C reseller. Like, they need to be wearing the latest stuff. They're getting them for free. They have to be wearing them. We do not want to see your players wearing the older stuff.
The classic stuff.
Our point is to get the new stuff sold. So they're watching the resellers, and remakes are a massive thing now. So like, for example, these are one of the recent ones that came out last month.
Well, they're Predators.
Yeah, some minging colourway. But like these came out, they're often constantly remaking old stuff with new technology to look like the older stuff because
it's where the demand is, I suppose, isn't it?
It's nostalgia. Nostalgia sells massively, and the modern stuff sells as well because people want the latest stuff and for bragging and all that kind of stuff. But reselling has really kind of changed the boot industry, I think, over the last 5 years. So
that's interesting. I didn't realise how big it was on like kind of pro players and stuff.
Yeah.
Because surely you think about it, if you're being sponsored by a big company like Nike, although we might not be wearing the more latest ones, as long as they're wearing Nike, like you're selling the brand, aren't you?
Yeah. But kids on little pictures on Sunday League want to be like Jack Grealish, and they want to wear the boots that Ronaldo's wearing. So if he's got the new ones on, they're going to go to Nike and spend 250 quid on him. But the thing that changed it and boomed the industry, I think, was around COVID started. Nike and Adidas pretty much stopped giving out free boots to pros. I mean, really pally with a kit man at a team in the championship. Yeah. And I remember him saying to me, like, the boys aren't getting boots anymore. Like, when I started, they used to get, like, 2 pairs of studs, 2 pairs of moulds, like, every 3 months when the new stuff came out. Just completely stopped. It was only kind of like your Champions League clubs where players, like that kind of like top 6 in the Prem. Yeah. And the odd, like, big player in the other teams or like Championship maybe would get free stuff. So then standard players, like pro players, weren't getting free stuff. So they're like, well, why am I going to spend 250 quid on a new pair of boots that have just come out
when you can get these resale ones?
I can spend 250 quid on a pair from 5 years ago that I know I like, had good times in. I'm going to buy them. And that's the stuff that we were selling. So that really helped.
That's weird, that, because if you think about all these businesses that kind of suffered with, you don't hear about many businesses really that kind of. I suppose web-based. Do you reckon that really helped?
Web-based is massive, and you'll have to look at high streets now, walking down any city centre, they're boarded up. Companies, massive companies, are now just online. The only one that I can think of that aren't online, that are only in store, is Primark.
Yeah. I think that's the only one, really.
And there's like other stuff, like WH Smith or something, or like your supermarkets.
WH Smith is online nowadays. I would have WH Smith online like last year. Like, if you think about it, everything, like Amazon, I think Amazon's just changed the game, really, with how quick their delivery is, how many delivery drivers they've got.
Frightening, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when you look at some of this like mass-produced clothing, like the women's, you look at like Pretty Little Thing, all them sort of stuff. Like, it's just
Boohoo and all those guys.
It's just huge, isn't it? Like the online sort of
companies that did really well, fulfillment, like warehousing fulfillment companies. You hear about them, postal services. They must have made a fortune.
Yeah, looking like every Hermes and all that.
Like, they must have made an absolute killing.
Do you remember when it used to be Royal Mail and Royal Mail only?
Yeah.
And
Well, when I started, I used to box
Did you have to do them like sacks?
Yeah.
Royal Mail sack?
I used to put the box in. I didn't even used to have parcel bags when I first started. I used to go to Sainsbury's and buy like 30 carrier bags. You know, like the decent...
The 5p ones?
At the time they were like the 15p ones.
That's a subtle brag.
I'm not cutting corners. So like, I'd have like bright orange carrier bags because they used to fit a boot box perfectly. So I put it on, tape it.
That's the most trial and error thing I've ever heard of. But it works.
So I used to walk in and I'd be like, I'd get in the queue with nothing, get to the front of the queue and she'd be like, I'm like, can I have 30 carrier bags, please? She'd be like, what? I'm like, yeah, just 30. So that used to be, and then I'd get them in the big sacks and get to Royal Mail, to the post office.
Yeah, depots.
Just like
your
post office.
General post office.
Yeah, like Doreen behind the till. Like,
she walks in with your 30 Sainsbury's carrier bags.
Bottle of Coke and 40 parcels to send. Just stack them up and send them. But now, obviously, it's all printed and labelled. We've got couriers on board and stuff, so they all come and pick them up now. But when I started, it was literally go to the post office and keeping a massive receipt of all the tracking numbers, uploading them, and
I bet that time management, because we talked about time management before. I bet that has just managed to make it streamlined it so much more.
Many orders, like a dozen orders, I can just select them all, create packaging slips, create shipping labels, and it'll just churn them all out. And
all you need is a printer and a scanner, don't you? Really,
slap them onto the late boxes, and you're off. Yeah, it's so much easier now, but that comes from growing and investing in decent kit and technology and stuff. But yeah, early doors, I was handwriting out addresses and it's a nightmare. But it's good though. I used to love like when an order came through and I'd be like proudly packaging it. Good memories. But it's different now. They're all just kind of throwing them out. But no, it's good. It's really good growing.
How did you manage to kind of talk your wife into kind of getting on board with it?
She got to quit a job for it.
This shit?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's fair enough then.
Yeah, I'm paying it.
Yeah. I was going to say, because I'm thinking more about myself. If I turn around to my girlfriend and was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to start this boot reselling business, I think she'd be like, no, you fucking... why are you doing that?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, she was working a bit of weekends and like rubbish shifts and with the kids and stuff. So I said, well, why don't we just try it? I'll pay you what you're getting at the minute. You can just come in 5 mornings a week. You want it like 3 mornings a week. Come and package up the orders and just help me out a bit.
Yeah.
And, we're not worse off as a family income. So just tickle away, put a few tunes on and she can crack on whilst I do all the boring stuff again. But
kind of it keeps it organic as a little bit.
100%. Well, I thought, and I looked at staff and getting people in for like marketing and order fulfillment, and I was like, why would I spend like $2,000 a month on someone to do something that my missus can do just as well and probably better and care about it more was the main thing.
I think it's a caring. I think that element of it, because people who do like a 9-to-5 job a lot of the time, like if you don't care about it, just kind of like
100%. So yeah, bless her, she comes in and does a job and disappears. But, it's good. It's going really well. Long may it continue.
Yeah, long may it continue, 100%. We was discussing a little bit about these because I found these fascinating when I came in. So behind me, we've got player boots. Like, that's fascinating for me. So you just bid on them on like online.
Yeah, the odd ones come up on eBay and you think, obviously like those are Mignolet's, so like there is, but the odd ones are just a load of writing on. I'm like, I'll take a punt, and they could be anyone's, but there's a few that I've got a like completely different spec to like the generic off retail pairs off the shelf, like Johnny Evans has got like a carbon fibre insole
Nice,
in his sole plate, so like they're a lot stiffer and more reactive. And there was time actually apparently with Nike in like the early teen, like 2010 onwards, all because Man United I think was sponsored by Nike at the time.
Yeah.
So all the United players got free boots from Nike, and they all had these like carbon fibre inserts in.
Oh, okay.
They're meant to make the boot like stiffer and more reactive, and apparently, but yeah, so you'll find a lot of Man United boots from back then had carbon fibre in the inside and all sorts. They can get so many modifications. Again, the top players can get their boots.
They can do whatever they want. They've got their own reps, haven't they?
Made to their feet.
Straight away.
Moulded to the feet, to the size. They get modifications on the studs, on the tongs, all sorts. So, a few player ones. Darren Bent.
And we said that a throwback. I was walking with Phil Foden over there. Mignolet and went, Darren Bent over here. And I was like, here we go. Now we're talking. We're into the big boys.
But yeah, there's a few.
Streets will know Darren Bent though. Like back in the day,
mate.
Before he got injured a lot, but he banged.
Villa, he was good, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Villa, Tottenham. I think he got booted out by, was it Adebayor they bought in for, and it's on record that he was like, he got ditched because of Adebayor. So, yeah, he's a baller, to be fair. He's massive into his trainers, Darren Bent, like massive sneakerhead. Would
you ever move into, because obviously football boots, that is your prime, what you're selling. Obviously, you're moving into like socks and you've got grip socks and stuff like that. Would you ever move into like your different sort of sports, like basketball shoes, for example?
Yeah, so, I mean, the sneaker industry is like, if you think the boot business is booming, like the sneakers have been booming for years. And like that is like, you've got to get them on the drop. Like there's so many people doing it, personal shoppers and stuff like that. But I probably wouldn't. I don't know enough about sneakers other than being a Jordan or a Yeezy or a Dunk or whatever. Yeah. But I'd probably stick to what I know at the minute, to be fair. But the other one's classic football shirts. But again, I probably don't know enough about it. And there's a lot of people doing it, and your margins are like, you might make a tenner on a £30 shirt. Yeah. So it's like, what's the point?
There's a lot of kind of debate at the moment on them mystery boxes as well, aren't there?
I've seen them because they start doing vintage ones. You've seen like vintage box for £50 and get a massive puffer, 2 jumpers and a tee. But then you see like the true reviews, and it's like I've got like some scabby Carhartt or like Sondico t-shirt, and it's like, oh great, that's decent.
I kind of rate for the fact of people. I don't understand why people buy them to make money. Like, why would you think that's going to happen?
Well, they say, don't they? It's like this box is worth £220 and it's only 50, and then you open it and it's like never getting.
It's a Hibernian third kit from 2018.
Actually, they shoot themselves in the foot saying what the value is. I think if you said you'll get 3 shirts for £60. You don't care. You're like, oh, it's a lottery, whatever. You might get one you like, the rest of it, but it's more the experience and the fun.
Innit? Yeah.
But when you're saying like you will get £220 worth of shirts, you're like, oh, well, that's what you should get.
Yeah.
But
it's about promising.
So they're shooting themselves in the foot, aren't they? Really? But yeah.
Would you ever do like a footy boot mystery box?
I was going to do it. I was going to. It's just trying to get it organised and the logistics and stuff like that. But then I think you get more returns than.
I feel like that,
do you know what I mean?
Especially. Because you'd have to do a mystery box per size, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, you'd do like a drop down box on each item, so it'd be like mystery box, and it'd be like, well, pick your size. Do you prefer Nike, Adidas, Puma, whatever, or like every option I'll have, don't care, like surprise me. But then like, do you want metal studs? Do you want moulded studs?
There's too many, isn't there?
So before you know it, you're just picking the boot you want, and you're like, all right. But then I was kind of like, yeah, it's just one of them, like. You're just going to upset more people than you're going to please.
I think that's the problem with it, especially with the sort of industry you're in, where it's all about the nostalgia. It's all about I've seen a player wear these, I want to wear them as well.
You get some crappy little New Balance, you'd be like, what the hell's this? But it was something I thought about, but yeah, enough on my plate at the minute. I'll leave it for now.
I bet you do. So I've got an interesting question about the boot business that I was thinking about myself. So, with the introduction of FIFA, obviously the huge game, with them introducing like the balls and the boots and stuff, how do you think that's kind of impacted the boot business?
To be fair, that's what I used to buzz on that on FIFA when I was
used to as well.
16. You'd be like,
do you used to buy them? You used to spend like coins on them? Yeah.
So like, I used to play Beer Pro quite a lot.
Okay,
You could go on like, I never used to play online, but it's like you can go on like the career where you're playing as the team, you're the manager. But I used to like the one where like you're the individual pro. So I'd be like, oh well, at the minute, I'm actually wearing the CTR, so I'll put him in them, and I like my white sock tape, and I tuck my shirt in, and I wear long sleeves. Like you make your player, but you're playing for Real Madrid or something. So it's really, really good. And again, they tend to only have the newer stuff. But recently, in the last couple of years, they've started putting on the older pairs, which is, again, it's just a bit of fun in it. But yeah, it is cool to see.
It helps the business a little bit because I see boots on there that I've never seen before, and I'm like, they're sick. 40 balls are the one for me. Where I'm just like, some of these, I'm like, they're just unreal. Like you've got some down there, haven't you? Like you've got some. There's a Sheffield United one down there. What other clubs is it? Is it a Wednesday one or what is
2002 World Cup?
Oh, look at this!
What a throwback that is.
Do you want me to tell you my age when this was?
Go on.
So I was 3. Out of the 1999, baby.
That's the 95. This is a replica one that they released.
Do you know what's mental about this? Like, if you compare this football to your modern footballs,
oh mate,
they're so different. Like this is, you can see how it's ridged, whereas now it's smooth. It's like a full.
They changed it so like they don't have stitching anymore. So like they're all hyper seal or whatever you call it. But like because that's got like a cotton thread in it. As soon as that gets wet, the weight of them just goes mad.
Yeah.
So like all these ones are now, I've not even got any in, but
I used to love footballs like these. My favourite footy ever was a Jabulani. It just reminds me of end of primary school, early high school, where you step up, you think you're Ronaldo, you strike it,
wobbling all over the place.
Because I'm not a good footy player, but even I could make it just go wild. And you're just looking at it like that is sensational. But yeah, these are sick. That's mental. Would you ever move into? So, are you trying to? Do you just pick?
No,
these up when you see it? Or?
I had them up on the shelves and they look quite good, like little dotted around. But nah, I wouldn't even know how to start finding them. Never mind.
It's hard, isn't it? Do you know what? These are mental. So I have got a couple lads I work with who are dead into their foot golf. Mm-hmm. So do you know foot golf? Have you kind of been before?
Yeah.
So
are you keen? Do you wear your boots?
I have to wear Astros where I play. But so the lad who I work with, he plays like England amateur.
Oh nice.
So he was ranked number 1 at one point, but he only ranked number 1 because he did every course. And
right, yeah.
But he was ranked number 1 at one point, and I was talking to him because he uses Jabulanis.
No.
And I was like, how do you keep finding Jabulanis? What happens if one pops? And he says, it's mental.
I bet they cost a fortune now.
Hundreds, if not thousands of pounds.
Wow.
You've got pro players who would bid on, because obviously you've got the match replicas and you've got the match balls.
Yeah.
So to actually get like a match ball like Jabulani, you're paying thousands.
Yeah.
And he was like, you've just got to pay it because that's my ball that I use.
That Jabulani and that 2002 one are probably some of the most iconic balls.
Yeah.
Because that 2002
so.
was like R9, the Brazil team with like Roberto Carlos, Cafu.
It's mental the players back then. Thierry Henry, the French teams.
And that was like peak England as well. Like that England 2002-04 kind of period. Some mad teams.
You had like Michael Owen kind of coming through, didn't you? Was that 2002?
98, he's like Argentina, wasn't it? He burst on. But yeah, 2002, to be fair, 2002 you'll have had like Danny Mills or like Sol Campbell, not great. And like Paul Robinson. But 2004 was like Becks, Rooney had just come in, Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes, like when they just couldn't fit everyone in the team. They were playing like Scholes at left mid or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was Germany 2004. Was it Germany 2004? But anyway, yeah.
I think Germany 2006.
Yeah. 2004. Did we even qualify for the Euros there?
I don't even know.
Like Greece won it 2004.
Was that the one where Rooney stamped on Ronaldo? Was that 2006?
That was the World Cup, I think.
Was that 2006?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at it.
No.
We kind of merge. I feel like a lot of football tournaments for me, as I'm getting older, a lot of merging into one.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah, especially when you're looking at like the World Cups and you're like, that's mental. Some of these.
2006 World Cup.
Mate, they are fantastic. These are all gold boots for the people listening on audio.
Oh, yeah. So Zidane, remember the 2006 World Cup final?
Yeah.
Where he nutted Materazzi. So like,
as if you got these in.
So they remade them last year. So that original silhouette is all boot.
Just for the camera purposes, look how nice they are.
So the Zidane back in 2006, he wore them. Only him wore that colourway in that boot in that final for one game. His last ever international, was it? And he nutted Materazzi, got sent off. Iconic picture of him walking past the World Cup, getting sent off.
It's good that one, wasn't it? It's a good picture.
Adidas remade them last year, and yeah, they're flying. So
do you have to like constantly aggravate this? Do you have to constantly like be on the mailing list for like these big?
no, it's,
Sort of, or is it just like word? Do you get a lot of word of mouth?
it's the brands hype them up now. To be fair,
Yeah.
like when there's a big like remake release, it'd be like drop in end of January, like mark the date, set your alarms, and they sell out straight away. But the odd time they just drop them out of nowhere, which is good. But they get so many leaks now, like the companies, like lots of pages out in like Asia and Europe get them early, like and release them and leak them, which is you can get in trouble for it actually, but. As soon as someone's posted it, you think it's all right, and everyone starts resharing it.
Of course,
but then
yeah.
I don't know if they want that, to be fair, because it's not a bad thing. The hype going up for it, people having an opinion on it, gets people talking. But yeah, the releases, they're dropping limited edition releases and remakes every other month now, it feels like.
I suppose, yeah, but you've got to be on the ball with them, haven't you? Especially if you're seeing some of them like
Yeah.
the final boost stamping. You've got to get hold of a pair there.
Well, it's funny, when they came out, I put a post on my Instagram story and I was like, these are crap, like no one's buying these. Why would you, like all gold boots, no one's wearing them, and like a lot of people were like, yeah, they're not actually that great, like I don't think anyone's going to buy them, and then they all sold out.
Straight away, sold out instantly.
And I was like, right, has
wow.
anyone got any? I was like, I'm buying these now, like anyone want to get me some? But yeah, it's just a matter of opinion, and I've learned slowly, only just kind of started to learn, like, don't not buy anything because I don't like it.
Of
So,
course.
like,
Yeah.
everyone's got a different opinion. So like, I wouldn't ever wear like bright pink boots, but thousands and millions of people would.
Yeah.
So like, you just got to buy anything. You got to think But then it surprises me. Like, I'll buy something, I'll have it on the website for like 2 years, never sell it, and then out of nowhere, someone will buy it, and I'm like, all right, someone likes it then. So like, it's just
fascinating, isn't it? Because it's like you say, everyone's got a different
it's a
sort
matter
of
of
opinion.
time. Yeah, you just got to find someone in that size, in that boot, wants it, and they'll come and buy it. So
I'll come and take it straight off your hands.
yeah, it's mad.
I'm more interested, obviously, with kind of like name dropping and kind of the pro players you played there. Like, who were like the big kind of pro players? Would you say that you sold to then? Obviously, you said Tanganga before.
Yeah, Jaffet Tanganga's
he's a big one.
centre half at Tottenham. Bought loads of pairs off us now. Really nice guy. Michael Elise at Palace. I've got one of his shirts as well.
Elise is flying at the moment.
I started dealing with him actually when he just.
Is that Tom Lees?
Yeah. I dealt with Elise when he was just broke through at Reading like a few years ago, and he still wears the same boot. I just loves his one boot. So whenever you get his boot in that size, it's like, well, there's another pair.
There's another pair straight away.
So yeah, Michael Elise, Tanganga, Javinho messaged me once.
Javinho?
Yeah.
As in former City player Javinho?
No, Arsenal.
Oh, okay. That's what I was...
Javinho for City?
Yeah, Javinho. Was it Javinho who played for City?
The guy, the KSI. If you watch KSI, Javinho, you remember the.
Oh yeah, no,
braid.
I know what you mean. I'm thinking of Giovanni from City who scored the winner.
Javinho.
Yeah, Javinho. Yeah, Ivorian.
Ivory Coast. Yeah. He messaged me once, which was kind of mad.
I got Javinho message.
Yeah, and then he didn't reply to me. He was like, "Have you got these?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he just didn't get back to me.
Didn't get back.
I was like, "All right, sound." A lot of the Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday lads, which is really cool being local to them.
That's fascinating because you were saying about Billy Sharp, weren't
Billy
you?
Sharp's had so literally like I went to the game last night. I dropped some off for Ollie Norwood, and Max Lowe texted me that night, like just obviously arrived at the ground about like 5:30, and he texted me saying half the lads are wearing your boots tonight. Like it's mad how like fast like the boys want him, and like as soon as one gets him, like Fotheringham the keeper messaged me like, Max Lowe's giving me a number, like, can you get me these? And then like Billy Sharp was like, oh, can you get the same boots for Basham? And I'm like, yeah. Like 2 years ago, I'm like watching you in the stands, like away at Leeds.
That's
like,
fascinating. What do your mates think of like that?
They've
Still got your mates, haven't
They've
you?
started like getting sick of it now. Though, so like I'll screenshot like a message like, oh, can you get these from someone? And they're like, all right, yeah, nice one. And like someone rolled their eyes at me the other day. I was like, oh. Saw Max Lowe last night and like, oh right. Cheers, boys. So I think I might have rinsed it a bit too much, but yeah, it's nice. It's but yeah, it's just mad. Like the Wednesday United, there's so many now. Like there's a little series I did on my TikTok of like players we've dealt with at Huddersfield, and I've gone through each player. Like, but it only made me realise like when I go on like Transfer Market and look at like the squad, and I'm like, him.
Yeah,
I'm
and you're
like,
looking at
Jesus.
half of the team, and it's
And like people would comment like, "Have you had any Crawley Town players?" And I'm like, "I don't think so, but I'll have a look." And then realise I've got a few, and I'm like, "I'll make a video on that." And then other messages like, "Have you got any Millwall?" And then there's like half a dozen there, and you only realise when you actually look at it, because every day you're trying to blaze into one, replying to messages constantly, and but yeah, it's crazy how many people get in touch with you and stuff, but it's good fun.
It's a small world, isn't it? Well, I suppose we're kind of coming to the end. I told you it would fly past.
It's flown by.
It always flies.
Part 3.
Hey, mate. Well, I wanted to do. We're definitely going to do a part 2, mate, because I know that Ollie was angling. I think Ollie was good back on, and we've had a few guests doing part 2, so we're
100%.
definitely going to get you back on.
Yeah, anytime.
And so just shout out. Is there anything you want to kind of shout out at the moment? Just shout out ARF Football.
No, yeah, just check it out. ARFfootball.com. On Instagram, always on messages and emails and stuff. So drop us a text if you need anything, and yeah, check us out.
And can people like request certain boots if you've not got them in? Or
Yeah, to be fair, I've got hundreds of pairs on the website. So if there isn't anything there, I get like hundreds of messages.
Yeah.
Like, can you get these? And you can't get
them
do it all.
Yeah,
but like, so I'll always respond. Like, I'll never not reply to anyone. But yeah, I'll always have a look. But if I know if there's something that they want that's like mad rare and like in a popular size, I'm just like, I'm
just having a look at on the boot wall here, like the ones we've gone through right here, like the amount of predators you've got, literally just behind my head.
I know. Yeah.
You've got all different types. I'm there, like if you want something, he's probably got it.
Yeah. No.
Or it's just been sold.
Yeah, it's mad. So yeah, Instagram and TikTok we're on. We're on Twitter and Facebook. We don't really post much, but Instagram and TikTok.
TikTok are the way forward.
But yeah, thank you for having me, mate.
Mate, massive thanks for letting me come down and showing me your world, which is mad.
Love it.
If you are listening on Spotify, make sure you give us a 5-star review and follow us. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. And make sure you go over and show Alex some love. Definitely. We shall see you next week.
Top man.
Thank you, mate.